Hello and welcome to Let's Play Strategic Command Civil War. And we're going to play, I believe I'm the first YouTuber to play this on Expert for everyone. So that's what we're going to do. Now let me make you a promise as to why my channel is going to be different from all the other channels you watch for this game. A lot of YouTube commenters have complained on other channels that during the first year the action is rather slow moving. Not on this channel. We are going to be fighting a decisive battle starting in June, July, which is like turn 3, in which I intend to isolate and destroy a significant part of the Federal Army in Maryland. Because I believe that the Confederates' actual strategy was to have what's called in the military cordon defense, which is where you pretty much try to defend everything, and that was a very inappropriate strategy in my mind. All right. If you don't mind, tell me if you want me to read all the messages. I'm kind of inferring that because I'm a new YouTuber, that this isn't your first rodeo and you've watched other videos before mine. All right, so I normally love to max out tech first. Oh, I can't buy divisions yet. All right. Let's see then. Yeah, I'll do that. And so it kind of breaks. Okay, so let me read this real quick. I am going to read this message. Tell me if you want the hackneyed accents or not, also in the comments. Despite European intervention being our best hope of winning the war, a minority of leaders believe we would be better off ordering the immediate sale of our cotton for gold, which we could then use to buy weapons. At current market prices, we could receive 1750 MPPs at 175 MPPs over 10 tons for our cotton. Flooding the market with cotton would leave Europe with little incentive to recognize us, so if we were to sell the cotton, we would then be unable to choose a sponsor, and it would be extremely unlikely that any European power would ever enter the war. Selling the cotton would also be an unpopular move, costing us 8,000 points of fighting spirit immediately as states' rights activists denounce our actions, and a further 4,000 points when the price of cotton inevitably falls. Would you like to sell the cotton? Yes, or hold on to it as leverage in negotiations with Europe? I believe actually in real life the Confederates made a huge mistake by not saying yes. However, this game really weights it in favor of saying no, so unfortunately I'm forced to say no. Alright, we decide I'm going to pick UK. They give you a choice of UK, France, Spain. Good. And this is how on the spectrum I am on this issue of the economics of war. One of the reasons I bought this game was actually for that decision. I mean, I was going to buy it anyway, but that was one reason I wanted to buy it when I did. 588. Let's see. So now I'm going to buy. So the reason I'm not investing in tech early on, like I almost always do, is the strategy I'm adopting here is focused on winning a decisive battle in the next few months. So unfortunately, I need to, or not unfortunately, but I need to focus on things that are going to move the needle in the next few months. Oh, good. Yes. That makes things a lot easier for me. Because so I'm going to focus on an offensive in Northern Virginia and Maryland, and another offensive going into Western Missouri. And I'm going to show you why. Now, the reason I like Western Missouri is a couple reasons. One, I want to lure the Union soldiers as far away from their railheads as possible. A railhead is where the rail line ends. Because the Unions certainly have an advantage in railroads. You'll see even in Northern Virginia. Give me 1 second. Let me take care of something in a second here. Let's see. Okay, sorry about that. All right. Good. All right, let's buy Jackson HQ, divisions, Anderson. Oh, that's it. All right, we got this here. No, they haven't formed yet. Let me look here. No, I bother reinforcing. They're just going to die. It's a waste of like 40 MPPs, in my opinion. Correct me. Now, if you have any disagreements or questions or comments or suggestions, I'm all ears. So please don't hesitate to leave comments. Nice. So the reason I thought what the Confederates originally did in the war was, so the Union blockade, the United States at the time did not start the war with a very large navy. It was obviously far larger than the Confederate Navy, but so the blockade was rather incomplete. It was rather leaky at first. And so there was an opportunity to ship a large amount of cotton to Europe before the Union blockade tightened. Now, there were a lot of pros and cons to this. So cotton prices had fallen, as the thing I think mentioned, quite a bit. There was a bumper crop the year before in cotton. Now, let me explain. You might already know this. America was the Saudi Arabia of cotton. More than 50% of U.S. exports were cotton. But there was a bumper crop that year, and so European warehouses were already, jeez, look at that. European warehouses were already bulging with cotton. Now, because of the fact that we were in the Civil War now, there's still demand for cotton because speculators were willing to buy it up because there was the fear that maybe it wouldn't be available later. However, they would have to sell the cotton at lower prices, but it would still be quite a lot of money. The Confederates adopted a strategy called cotton diplomacy, King Cotton diplomacy, of deliberately withholding cotton. And the idea was that because textile manufacturing was one of the largest industries in the UK, that they would, once they ran out of cotton, they would be compelled to support the Confederacy in breaking the blockade. Now, hold on, I got focused for a second. Oh, this is interesting. They have not done this before. Wow, I like it. So normally what I do is go on up there because the Union's very passive a lot of times. But what's interesting is they're actually going forward first. So this could be an opportunity. I don't want to do this. I think I'm going to advance forward a bit more cautiously now, because if they are willing to, let's see, so they're going to Warrenton. So I'm guessing they're headed toward Culpeper. I'm trying to think of where the best place to cut them off would be. So I have a couple options. I could force march to Culpeper and defend it. My inclination is to let them penetrate deeper, though. So I'm going to not force march. Like, normally I force march up here to try to maneuver around them. Interesting. And I'm actually going to let them have Culpeper. So that way, That way I can, I want to try to encircle them. Don't want to move too far forward. I don't want to spook them into defensive positions. See, normally they're very... Oh, this is awesome. Normally they're very cautious, so this is... But I actually want them to go on the attack, because I'd prefer if I had a defensive campaign. But they're usually too cautious to do that in the first year. Interesting. I'm not gonna... let's see. Get cavalry division. Oh. Excellent. And then, let's see, one more division. Then I think, hopefully I can focus, I think I'm going to focus on tech after that. Let's see. All right, yeah. Yes, I'm going to send Price's command to Missouri. So so my goals in Missouri are as follows. And so again, like I said, it's a very different strategy from I think what I've seen from other YouTubers playing the Confederates. So my goal in Western Missouri is first of all so they're about to capture the whole state. So it'll be to recapture the mines there. Or I should say mine singular. Good. And a lot of times they'll push too far forward. You can encircle some of their units when they try to counterattack. Then I'm going to push north in what I call the Poor Man's New Mexico campaign. Now, one of the things I absolutely love about this game is the fact that they even have the New Mexico campaign. A lot of times other games have overlooked this part of the war. Oh, good. But they really did a beautiful job with it, and I love doing the New Mexico option. But since I'm focusing everything on one decisive battle early on, I need to concentrate my forces more. But I also have an alternate way to cut their supply line with California, and that is to move up from Missouri. If you go into Iowa and then further north, you can actually sever the supply line there with a lot less cost. Now, it won't work against a human player in the sense that you wouldn't be able to cut it and hold it probably, but it would cause them a great deal of distraction and disproportionate expenditure of time, resources, manpower, because because it's so far away from their rail lines. I mean, it's far away from yours too, but they're going to have to send a lot of forces to catch you. Wow. Again, I know, I've tried reinforcing that, and it doesn't do much. In fact, sometimes I've seen it survive, and then they just surrender anyway, so screw it. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, there they go. Figured as much. Okay, people, let's see. Another thing, all right. Now, if anyone has suggestions on what the Confederates should do with their Navy, I'm all ears. I think that's the part of my strategy that's most lacking. I mean, I have a lot of good ideas. It's just that They would involve spending amounts of money that wouldn't allow me to implement them. Yeah. Save here. All right, it looks like they're not going to advance any further at the moment. Interesting. Odd. It's one brigade, but it's a start. Might also lure them out, which would be awesome. I think I'll move him out that way. I'll 2 units who can attack. Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm not talking right now. I just got focused when I do this part. No. Back it up. Yeah, so it's still moving quite cautiously, actually. Oh, yes. There's some other... Oh, there they are. I love this game. These maps are just beautiful. I think that's everything for now. Oh, yeah. This guy's out of here. Actually, all of them. Because there I have this cut off. I tried to defend Cape Hatteras before that event fires where they occupied. I tried to send a regiment there and unload it there. It wouldn't let me. So I guess the only way is the amphibious assault. But for the Confederates, that's not a good option for a whole host of reasons. All right, now I'm going to focus on tech. Oh, except I'm going to buy siege artillery. Okay, so I guess I'm not. Okay, good. I can get tech. So my research priority is actually core organization, even above all the other, because those core units are just amazing. It's like having if you played any of the World War II ones from Strategic Command, it's like having level 4 Panzer Division with 2 or 3 stars experience, and just it's encountering an infantry corps out in the open is just boom. Whereas these small brigades only cause a little bit of damage. They're more useful for just maneuvering or garrisoning, in my opinion. It might have actually been a very smart strategy for him to occupy Warrington, because it is going to disrupt my supplies going there. I don't know, it'll be interesting. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to come forth to try to rescue that brigade. I was hoping he would. But maybe he will, I don't know. The more I can get him closer to my supply lines and out of his entrenchments at this point, the better, with some exceptions. Oh yeah, so back to the cotton thing. So, European intervention was not as likely because, for one thing, there was a surplus of cotton. For another, England was extremely abolitionist, and they'd gotten rid of slavery 30 years ago. So going to war to support the South would have been a very unpopular move. Historically, the UK did not have a very large army, and so there would be a significant chance of Canada being conquered by the North, by the Union, if they were to intervene. Like, you could see a scenario in which the South got its independence, and we somewhat compensated for that by occupying Canada. Let's see. Now, granted, I know you may be saying we've actually tried to invade Canada twice and failed, once during the American Revolution and once during the War of 1812, but we weren't a major industrialized power then. Which, believe it or not, we were by this time. And the other thing was, the next year in 18, now they couldn't have known this at the time, but in 1862 there was a very bad harvest in the UK. So yeah, each time a ship comes in successfully, or not a ship, but blockade runners succeed, it increases their desire to come in, which kind of is counterintuitive, because if they get more cotton, wouldn't that make them put off intervening? But anyway. Yeah. Why are we so... I don't understand. Oh, it's because they have 2 entrenchment. Wow. Because they're already at level 2. We're at level... 2 supply. We're at 8. And still... Wow. So there's often a gap... in their lines. Hopefully it's still there. Somewhat, but they might plug it, because I wasn't able to get all the way through. Debating what to do with these guys, because I want to leave them there. Well, maybe... interesting. Wait, now let me move them forward before I do that. Should know. goal is to maneuver around them and encircle them. Huh. This actually might have been a really good move. This really... I should have used that guy too. Nope. Great putting that guy there. They should have him there instead. Darn it. Yes, I'm actually purposely leaving Fredericksburg open. I know there's a morale hit, but it would kind of unhinge his defenses if he sent them there. Okay. Credit to Night Phoenix for... I'd already thought of the idea of doing this, but I was too afraid to because I thought I'd get blown out of the water. I saw Night Phoenix do it on his channel, and it worked pretty well, so... Kudos to him. Me hats off to him. Whatever. Good job. Now, the reason I'm abandoning... I think it's... Galveston, yeah. Is because... Or I will be, because... Oh, no. Oh, yes. Okay, good. What do I have here? Is because if the Union is... I do want to encourage the Union to invade there, because if they do, it's kind of a don't mess with Texas thing. They raise a whole bunch of units to counter it. I'll do scouts. They're actually pretty useful. Yes. All right. I think I'm gonna call it a break as soon as this is done, because I think with the algorithm it's better to keep it under 30 minutes. So yeah, let's see. But I don't want you to miss anything from the end of the turn. I should have saved before stopped before the turn was over. Tell me in the comments if you like longer or shorter videos. Oh, I know. I'll just start it with the next one. Hold on.